They will also be in the description box below, by the way. And yeah, so, and I'll also mention when it is important for you to utilize your intuition. So, with that being said, my gorgeous Piscean friends, let's get into your cards, okay? So the first card that I pulled from the tarot is the Three of Spring, which is the Three of Wands. Now at the bottom of the card, it says, plan your next steps with an eye to the long term. Have patience, there are more good things to come. Satisfaction from a job well done. And then I pulled its clarifier. Okay, so this was from the Radleigh Valentine's Fairy Tarot deck. Then I used the Brian Froud's Fairy Oracle to clarify. And I got Jehovah in the reverse. And I was like, wait a minute, what does that mean? What does that mean? So I checked. In the reverse, Jehovah means check things out carefully. Save time. No. Sometimes our fears are justified. So this is just saying, okay, so you're doing something, you're doing it well, and you are planning for the long term, but you are making sure that everything is on point, everything is done correctly, so that you don't have to do it again, is what I'm getting. But at the time, I was like, well, why? Why are we checking? And I clarified with the Silvia Neitzner's Mirror Truth Lenormand deck, and I got, because, well, you got the child, so I guess you don't have enough experience in it, or you don't have enough practice or whatever. Practice, experience, same thing, doing it. So you want to make sure that you are on point, on par, all of the above, right? Then that's for the first set. And for the second set, so you have the Prince of Winter in the reverse and the Seven of Autumn in the upright. Now the Prince of Winter in the reverse, all right, talks of someone who is not utilizing their intellect to solve an issue, that they are a little wishy-washy. Well, not little, they are wishy-washy. That they are spread out, they're spread thin. Their attention is not really to one thing. They pay attention to multiple things at once, and that they are impulsive, but not, they're, in my definition, there are two ways of being impulsive, right? So there's one where you follow an impulse and you don't really have experience behind the impulse, or just following the impulse just because you got something telling you to do this, and generally that tends to be your ego. Whereas the other impulsiveness, at least it seems like an impulse, because it doesn't look like you thought about it, it just came to you. But in reality, what it is that through experience, you've gained a certain, like, knowing. You know how to ride a bike. Once you learn how to ride a bike, you know how to ride a bike. You don't need to learn it again, right? So it is instinctive. I think that's what I should write on this card. There's impulse and then there's instinct. You have the Prince of Winter, to me, sometimes can be instinctive. What was the word? Impulse, instinct. But it's knowing, like an experience. You've had experience in this, and so you from instinct. No, I think instinct is more not instinct, but like something that you cultivated, an experience. You have the experience, so you don't do that same thing you did that ended wrong. You do things that will end well, is what I'm trying to say. Okay, so it's a seek. Like I said, you're not seeking out an intellectual solution to your problems. You're actually just, you're doing whatever just, well, not whatever, you're just following your impulse. Because an intuition, and when you get an intuition, it's more, it's like you are not only connecting to your experience, but you're also connecting to your source, your essence, your soul, your higher self. Right? Then you have the need. Then the Prince of Winter in the reverse would be that you don't feel the need to act quickly at all. You just like to take your time, take things slowly, and things aren't shifting because of that. That's what I'm getting. And then you have the Seven of Autumn. Now the Seven of Autumn talks of have patience and don't worry. Take time to rest and plan your next steps, a prudent investment of time and money. And that is why it is taking time, because seeing as in the first set, you were still new at this and you still wanted to get your bearings in what you're doing. So you just try to do things slow so you can understand how things should work perfectly well. And that is what the Seven of Autumn is. It's just saying take the time, give it the time it takes in order for you to become experienced enough to feel like you know what you're doing. Right? Then you have Lattice Moon's Daughter pointing towards the left. Now cards pointing towards the left to me mean that they happened in the past or they're happening super slowly. So a Lattice Moon's Daughter indicates that there's light cast in shadow, there is spiritual guidance, you have illumination, and you can now solve riddles that you weren't able to solve before. Now pointing towards the left with the two definitions. The one is that you were able to do this and now you understand things clearly. For those for whom this hasn't happened yet, it just indicates that you still have a ways to go to get it, to understand what needs to get done. But it doesn't mean that it won't happen, it just means it might take a little bit more time, which coincidentally is basically how you get over, or how you implement a new habit into your life. For anybody, it doesn't matter if you have experience, like, doesn't matter who you are, as long, the only thing that, the way you can instill a new habit is to gain experience, and to gain correct experience is what I'm getting. Next you have the Sage. Now the Sage talks of wisdom, hidden knowledge, retreat, old age, and patience. And what I just mentioned is a hidden knowledge. It is out there for everyone to know, but not everyone knows it. It's hidden in plain sight. And most often than not, it's because people don't, I'm generalizing, but sometimes it's just a fact, just a matter that people don't want to put in the effort. They want something quick, especially in this day and age where everything happens now. You know, you need to give it some time. Things take time, and things, when you give it the time it takes, then it'll be like anchored within you and you can't lose it. When you anchor a habit, when you anchor a new methodology or whatever, it is within you for the rest of your life, until you change it into something else, something that is serving you more at the present moment. Right? Next, you have the Lady of the Harvest. Now, the Lady of the Harvest talks of completion, release, loss, harvest, and release. So now, when you come to terms with the fact that not you necessarily, you or someone you're dealing with, when they understand that something needs to change in the way that they operate, everything will go back to, you'll be able to complete it, you or them, someone will be able to complete a cycle and move on to the next stage of life. Alright? Now, next you have the King of Winter pointing towards the right, and the life experience card in the upright. Now, cards pointing towards the right to me mean that they're happening in the future, or they're happening quickly. Now, the King of Winter is a knowledgeable, experienced, fair-minded, and unemotional individual. It says, get advice from someone professional and objective. Public speaking, unemotional relationships. Yes. So, this is basically saying, alright, so you went through something with the Prince of Winter, right? Now, the Prince of Winter not knowing what to do is going to see knowing that it's going to take some time to get to where he wants to get to. He's going to go to a professional who will allow him to get to where he wants to get to quicker. He is ready to put in the time and the effort, but he just wants to get there quicker, right? And I feel like the reason why is because he or she wants to avoid a life experience. This is the Tower. This is the equivalent of the Tower in this deck. Now, this card at the bottom says, let go of belief systems that no longer work for you, an unexpected life-changing event, a situation that leads to significant opportunities. So, that difficulty that this Prince of Winter is having, all right, in regards to completing his cycle, because he's no longer in the right process of dealing with what he's dealing with, I feel like can be fixed if he goes, can be done quicker if he goes to a professional. Now, that professional, or maybe the other probability is that he is going to see this professional because he senses that something is going to happen and he wants to like mitigate it, or he wants to avoid it completely. So he is going to someone who's been through what he's been through and who has experienced all the possible bad sides of it, so that he can then not have to go through it, you know, or go through it better. That's the whole point. Now, so basically something like a coach or professional that can help you get through these better and quicker. So the next card, the first card clarifying that, is the Fairy Godmother. Now, the Fairy Godmother, okay, talks of gifts, talents, grace, and helpful lessons. So what I'm getting is that what the King of Winter is going to allow you to do is tap into helpful lessons that will allow you to avoid this, that will allow you to mitigate this life experience to the point where it might not even be such a tower moment. It might be like a little blip in your experience that you can, like a little molehill that you can like step over. You know, instead of it being like Mount Everest where it's like, oh my god, how am I going to get on the other side? Type of thing. Next, you have the Rar card. Now, the Rar card, alright, talks of wild energy, pure potential. And basically, when you are able to learn that lesson and be able, what that lesson is going to allow you to do is tap into the Rar card energy. And having tapped into the Rar card energy, you will be able to create whatever you want, whenever you want, however you want. No holds bar, nothing. It'll all be fine, right? You can do whatever you want. It's just unlimited potential. You choose. And then we have the Bodacious Bodak. Now, the Bodacious Bodak, alright, talks of order at the very end. So, as I don't know if you know this, but most people have a lot of potential, yet they are not focalizing it into something that really helps them move their needle forward. And this is what the Bodacious Bodak talks of. Basically finding the order that will allow you to focalize or just concentrate your pure potential into something that will move you forward to something else. Alright? Next you have Los Gunas. Now, Los Gunas talks about his sunken treasure, discovery of self, and adventure. This is talking about the biggest adventure anybody can go on, which is going within to figure some things out about yourself so that you can live a better life. Okay? And basically, yes, so that you can live a better life, so that things can go swimmingly. Alright? Now, the next card is the Lamb. Now, the Lamb talks of unconditional giving and receiving. So once you find that thing that you love to do and that really drives you, not drives you, but who nourishes you, you will unconditionally give and receive from it. Meaning, whatever you put into, it's reciprocity with this. Whatever you put in, you get out. And it doesn't feel like a waste of time. Right? Because you feel like there's a return on your investment of time or money. Now, for the last set, you have two majors. You have the Lovers, which is the card of Gemini. It talks of true love that is long-lasting, choices made from the heart, return to good health. And this is really, I feel, the focus, you realizing what it is you need to focus on and going towards that, right? Going towards that and letting the old focus die. Because the Release card is the Death card in this deck. It says, let go of the past, an ending that makes way for new beginnings, new opportunities, time to move on. Time to move on to something better that's better serving you, right? And the cards clarifying that are A, the Death card, which talks of natural, timely ending, release, liberation. So you're moving on, you're moving to another cycle. Then you have the Fairies, the Fairy Guide. Now the Fairy Guide basically is guidance, direct communication with fairies. So it's basically saying, what is your intuition telling you that this ending is about? What is it? Is it, I don't know, like a relationship? Is it a job? Is it a habit? Is it a pastime? What is it? What is it that you're indulging in or that you're doing that is no longer serving you? Then you have Topsy-Turvets. Now, if you have a little difficulty figuring out what that thing is, it is suggested that you, how should I say this? That you that you change the way you're looking at the situation in order to gain perspective on it, so that you can see what you need to change in order to change it. Alright? Then you have Tintin the Sylph. Now Tintin basically talks of discerning what is helping, what is serving you, what isn't. That is basically what you change your viewpoint to see what works and what doesn't, right? And then once you make that change within your reality, you will be able to tap into the Maiden's energy, which talks of auspicious beginning, birth, hope, growth, and joy. I wrote blank slate on this card, meaning that you're starting from anew, because this, to me, this is like a step before the Fool. The Fool starts every experience like he hasn't had prior experience in this. But the Maiden is a baby, so she literally has no experience in it. So whatever she tries, it's a fresh new look at it. So well, that is all that I have for you guys this week, my Piscean friends. If you like this and if you'd like me to go deeper into your specific situation, please contact me at the email in the box below, and it'll be my pleasure to assist. In that same box, you'll find a little description of this video and my price. Now, like this video, give it a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and click on that notification bell to be notified when I post some stuff, as well as leaving me a comment, because I adore comments. I read them all. I might not answer all of them, but I absolutely read them all. And with that being said, my gorgeous Piscean friends, I wish you guys all a very good week, and I'll see you next time, okay? Bye!